You're not antisocial. You're not broken. You just feel safer alone. And you've probably blamed yourself for it. But here's what no one told you. That preference isn't a personality trait. It's a survival skill. One you built before you could even spell your own name. Somewhere in childhood, your brain ran a quiet experiment. It tested whether people were safe, and it didn't like the results. So it made a decision for you. A decision you're still living by today. By the end of this, you'll know exactly when that decision was made, and whether you're still choosing it, or just defaulting to it. Let's get one thing straight. Wanting to be alone is not the disease, it's the symptom. The real story is what taught you to want it, and there are 6 teachers. Most people never meet a single one of them consciously. You're about to meet all 6. Picture a slot machine. You pull the lever, sometimes warmth, sometimes cold silence. Same lever, different outcome, every single time. That's what some childhoods felt like emotionally. One day your parent was sunshine, the next, a locked door. Your brain hates randomness. It craves patterns. So it learned one anyway. Connection equals risk. Closeness equals gambling. And nobody keeps pulling a lever that hurts. Psychologists call this insecure attachment. So you adapted. You enjoy people, but in small doses. You keep a quiet distance you don't even notice, because alone never flips on you. Alone is the one slot machine that always pays out the same. This one leaves no bruises. That's why it's so dangerous. You were sad. They said you were dramatic. You tried to explain. They changed the subject. Nobody hit you. Nobody yelled. They just looked away. Again and again. So your brain wrote a rule in permanent ink. Handle it yourself. Don't bother them. Now, as an adult, you process everything internally. You don't reach out when it's hard. Not because you don't need support, but because a younger you learned it wouldn't show up. Here's the open loop. There's one specific moment that locks this pattern in for life. Most people never identify it. We'll get there. Some people chose independence. You were drafted into it. You handled your own problems. You calmed yourself down. You parented yourself while someone else fell apart. From that, a belief hardened. I can only count on me. On the surface, impressive, capable, self-sufficient, the friend everyone leans on. Underneath, needing help feels like danger. Depending on someone feels like setting a trap for yourself. Think of it like a child soldier. The world made you strong before it was supposed to, and strength built that young always costs something. So you stopped needing people, or you convinced yourself you did. And being alone doesn't feel empty, it feels controlled. For the first time, you're the one holding the lever. Now stop, because here's the twist that flips everything. 3 of these patterns make solitude feel like safety. The next 3 make it feel like survival itself. And one of them is so common, you're probably doing it right now and calling it being tired. But first, I need to know something. Which one are you? The slot machine parent? The invisible feelings? Or the kid who grew up too fast? Drop the number in the comments. 1, 2, or 3. Watch how many strangers type the exact same number as you. That's the part that'll mess with your head. For some, a room full of people isn't fun. It's input. Voices, expectations, micro-emotions firing off every second. Now imagine your childhood home was already loud. Tension, arguments, walking on eggshells. Your nervous system never got to relax. So it rewired itself. More alert, more sensitive, faster to drain. Now as an adult, socializing doesn't recharge you. It bills you. And solitude is where you finally pay nothing. No room to read, no face to perform, just the sound of your own mind slowing down. That's not avoidance. That's a phone going back on the charger. Some people are simply built with the volume turned up. They feel deeper, notice more, absorb emotions that aren't even theirs. Researchers call them highly sensitive. As a kid, that's not a gift. It's a flood. You caught the tension nobody mentioned. You felt the mood shift before anyone spoke. And if no one taught you how to drain that flood, you found your own valve. Distance, quiet, a closed door. Here's the rare part. This isn't just emotional. It might be physical. Dr. Porges describes something he calls neuroception. The idea is simple. Your body scans for danger beneath your awareness. faster than thought. He proposes that in some people, that scanner runs in overdrive. The body flags threat in a perfectly calm room. If he's right, withdrawal isn't always a choice for these people. It's a reflex firing before the conscious mind ever gets to vote. You were never too sensitive. Your alarm system may just be set louder than everyone else's. Here's where almost everyone gets it wrong. Lonely is the ache of missing connection. Alone, chosen alone, is power. People who prefer solitude aren't broken at love. They can connect deeply. They just refuse to do it cheaply. They learned a hard lesson early. Not everyone is safe. So they don't hand out access. They grant it. Now line up all six: the unpredictable parent, the ignored feelings, the forced independence, the overload, the sensitivity, the selective heart. And a different picture appears. One almost nobody says out loud. You weren't born wanting to be alone. You were trained into it. Because at some point, alone felt safer than misunderstood, safer than ignored, safer than let down. Your mind did its job. It protected you. There is nothing wrong with you, but protection has a price. When you stop needing people, you also stop letting them in. The wall that guards you is the same wall that cages you. So here's the only question that matters. And remember that locked moment I promised we'd come back to? Here it is. It wasn't dramatic. It was the very first time you got hurt, went quiet, and handled it completely alone. So if this gave you even one word for something you've carried in silence, subscribe. It genuinely means a lot, and it tells me which truths to dig into next. Because the next one might be the pattern you've never had words for. I'll see you there.